Return Lords podcast.
Welcome to the Lord's Minute, our quick hit video series where we talk about all the biggest happenings in gaming and beyond. I'm Ty Swinson, writer for Lords of Gaming, and with me today once again is Lord King. We're back, everyone. It is 2022. Happy New Year. And for our first Lord's Minute, we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett. The premiere episode has launched, and we are back in the sands of Tatooine with Boba Fett and newcomer Fennec Shand. So, Lord King, how are you feeling about the first episode of the series?
First episode was mind blowing, because it gave you first how the hell did he survive that death trap he was in,
Biggest question.
and first I read the books, all right, so I
Yep.
understood exactly what was happening, but for those that aren't initiated in that and don't go deep diving into the comic books or read the text, the lore of the stuff, this was a complete shocker to them on his backstory. This is a character that was shrouded in mystery. We got a chance to see him unveiled in The Mandalorian. People wanted to know more. People wanted to know more about this character. Those newcomers, those older folks like myself, who are well steeped in the lore of the bounty hunters, wanted to know about the most famous bounty hunter who probably had a screen time of 15 minutes, all in
Mm-hmm.
all the movies. Um, but we wanted to know why he was so feared, why he was so legendary, and we got a whole bit of how did he lose his armor.
Yep.
How did the Jawas come about his armor? How did he escape the situation? How did he get those scars on his body? It was so many different things that they unveiled, and what I was talking with my group about is they're going to deep dive into characters like movies can't. They're going to
Yes.
take strip layers off and add layers here. It's going to be like an incredible onion that we are going to get a chance to get to know these characters more intimately. Normally, we wouldn't get these aspects of these characters from the movies because they're dealing with telling a whole overarching story that's connected in such a way that has a grander scheme. But this is, like you said, down on the earth, on the ground of the sands of
Yep.
Tatooine, and it's dealing with the sand people. It's giving you more insight to some of the mysteries that we weren't privy to because the Tuscan warriors was always shrouded in this whole foreboding essence that we didn't understand. The way that Anakin went and slaughtered them because they raped and killed his mother, from the past movies. We're learning now that they're not just savages and they have a whole culture and stuff steeped into tradition and stuff like that. So, and that's delving a little bit into the second episode, but to concentrate on the first episode and surrounding Boba and how he becomes the crime boss,
Mm-hmm.
taking over for not oh, what's this guy's name?
For
Not Jabba
Java?
the Hutt.
Oh,
Remember, his boy took over after Jabba was executed. One of his workers took over after Jabba was executed, and he was running as crime boss. And Boba Fett took that from him.
Bib Fortuna, that's it.
Yes. So, um, we got a lot in one episode, and you said somebody didn't like this. What
Yeah,
was it
so
like?
I'll go ahead and dive in because the first episode has been a little bit divisive among some Star Wars fans. I'm thinking that a lot of people might have gotten a little bit too spoiled with The Mandalorian. They had some expectations going into this, I guess a little bit more fast pace. But as you said, they're really building up to a deeper dive into Boba Fett because we really only have this surface level look at Boba Fett and who he was as a person for the original trilogy and War of the Bounty Hunters and other books that he was a part of. But now he's older, he's more seasoned, and we're getting a real close look on the type of man that he is slash who he wants to be. And the Tusken Raiders are serving as a great medium for that, as we're getting these flashbacks in the initial episode, because not only are we learning even more about them, beforehand in the movies we just saw them as the troublesome natives who were villainized a lot of the time. Anakin definitely didn't like them. Darth Vader
Right.
came back and killed more of them in the Darth Vader comic. Um, but with the Tusken Raiders, when they found Boba Fett when he escaped the Sarlacc pit and took him as prisoner, there was a notice and theory slash observation put out by Force Center in the dynamics that's happening with the Tusken Raiders, in that we see the child of the Tusken Raiders, the warrior, and then the chief, and how that relates to Boba Fett when he is captured. He's powerless like a child.
Yes.
He fights the warrior who he was as a bounty hunter and lost. He's lost that title, and he's working to eventually become the chief, the leader. That's who he
Right.
wants to be. That's the whole premise of the Book of Boba Fett. So I myself enjoyed it. I think people also were expecting some kind of hook, like the Mandalorian's first episode. At the end, we saw Baby Yoda Grogu revealed.
Right.
But I think that people who might not have enjoyed this first episode needs to kind of pump the brakes a little bit, enjoy it for what it was, and see the story that's trying to weave. And I think it has the makings to be something different, once again, that fans have not experienced yet in the Star Wars universe.
I think expectations of individuals shouldn't be judged on the whole, because
Right.
it's certain vocal individuals that probably spoil a bunch. Like, you have a bunch of apples and you got like one little rotten
Hmm.
one in there that wants you to tell everything. A lot of people feel the Netflix formula is a fantastic formula for viewing and binge watching. They want all episodes right there, so you get the outcry from that aspect of it. But as the story actually goes on, it actually gets better. But for the first episode, I thought it encapsulated exactly the avenue where John Favreau wanted to take it. I thought he actually shown
Hmm.
that he had there's a kinship between bounty hunters,
Yes.
because Fennec Shan, she actually owes Boba a debt, a life
Yes.
debt, and she is fiercely loyal to him, in the sense that when they did receive the bounty, when they went to the bar, and her bounty was a little bit less than his. Um, she didn't take true offense to it. She was still ready to fight for Boba and defend for Boba and actually go capture the assassin. And she did her job very well. Like I was explaining to my wife during the whole episode, I said they thought they got away from her, but she's a tracker. She's a hunter
Hmm.
tracker. And if you know about her skill set, her particular skill set is, when you think she lost sight of you, actually she didn't lose sight of you. She was tracking you the whole time until you release your guard, and she actually springs into attack. So, and that's exactly what she did in that whole instance. And it was an incredible scene to see, because we understand that Boba has complete confidence in her to finish whatever job he sends her out to do as his number one hitter that's right on his side. I thought that Boba's, we're getting to see his philosophy, and people probably thought he was a ruthless killer. I know a lot of people are probably upset with the fact that he's always taken the Mandalorian helmet off, but he's not a Mandalorian, and he doesn't adhere by those codes of the Mandalorian with keeping his helmet on at all times. But the movies portrayed it to be as such. But that isn't as such. Actually, we learned that in the Mandalorian, that he isn't a Mandalorian. He's raised in some of the ways, but he doesn't adhere to the can't take the helmet off and those type of rules.
Right. Right.
Especially with what we're learning from him now and how he's going to rule. The fact that he let those two warriors off that used to serve Jabba, instead of killing them, that made a hell of a lot of sense in what he was trying to convey. He doesn't want to rule with an iron fist. He wants to rule with an even palm. And he understands you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. And it's a telling thing when it comes to him how it's going to pan out. We will find out by the telling episodes later on, but
Right.
it's a good start for me.
Yeah. And this different way that Boba wants to go about it than Jabba. Ultimately, he's all about respect now. He wants to
Yes.
be respected, and have the same opportunities to see at the table essentially as these other crime lords. And a lot of that, as we're gonna find out, is from his time spent with the Tusken Raiders as a chief when Boba and the child defeated the sand creature. He did that
Boba.
act. Mostly Boba. Child took all the
Yeah,
credits. Mostly Boba.
the child
Um,
tried to take credit.
the chief saw that and gave him
Yeah.
a drink of water, a
Yes.
very scarce, valuable resource to show that he earned that. He earned that respect and acknowledgement from the chief. So I'm very excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see more explained of Fennec Shand and Boba Fett's relationship. As you mentioned, there's a lot of history there. Besides from when he found her dead uh,
Yes.
in Tatooine, it seemed that they had met before. Saving one's life is huge, but there seems to be more of a history we
Hopefully they
are
go
not
into
sure
that.
of.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm very excited to see where things go as the season goes on. And we're going to be talking about, especially the finale. We're going to be back here at Lords of Gaming for our Lords Minute, so be sure to tune in for that.
definitely.
But this has been the Lord's Minute. Thank you so much, everyone, for bringing us back here in 2022 and talking everything gaming and Star Wars. I'm Ty Swenson here with Lord King, and this has been the Lord's Minute.
Ubisoft.